Okay, next off is Selectman Tony Archinsky. Submit draft Selectmen's Code of Conduct document for review and comments for vote at a future meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have submitted this Code of Conduct document for the board's review and comment and approval because, number one, I think that this board and those that we appoint could use a reminder that we actually work for the public. Number two, in the course of our business, I think that we should always maintain a professional decorum. And number three, if we do not accept the responsibility of leadership, and if we do not set an example of proper and professional behavior, then how can we expect those that come before us to act accordingly? This document that I've submitted for the board's review, I hope that you all got an advance copy of it. It is not meant to stifle or infringe on anybody's First Amendment rights. It does not control speech. For the most part, it controls behavior. It is simply an agreed-upon method to maintain professional decorum for us and for any appointee of the Board of Selectmen while acting in our official capacity. It will serve as a standard of professional conduct. The board's comments and feedback are welcomed. I'd like to see 100% buy-in of the board, and it is my hope that the members of the board will be ready to discuss and vote on a final product at our June meeting. So I hope you've all had a chance to at least look at it. I would like to solicit comments. I don't know whether you want to do that tonight or you want to wait till our next meeting. I don't see any real emergency to get it done, but I do think that it's time that we return decorum to the Selectmen's chambers, and I think that we need to start to do it as leaders, and we need to show that we're responsible and we can control our behavior, and that I think that sets the pace for all of the other people that we appoint.
Okay, questions for Selectman Archinsky? Comments, anything?
I do want to say that the document that I've produced is, it's a compilation of a lot of things. I looked at the Mass Municipal Association, the Mass Selectmen's Association, other cities and towns. I will submit it to Town Council to make sure that it fits legal muster. And again, it really doesn't touch on First Amendment rights. It's really about, you know, how are we going to behave to the people that we deal with, and how we expect them to deal with us as well. I think a little bit more professionalism coming from this board will show leadership, and I'm hoping that we all have a say in it and we all have some buy-in to it, so that we can all agree to move forward from here and keep the politics outside and just move on and do our job as selectmen.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I have two questions, and one just might be semantics, but everything else that I've seen says Board of Selectmen, and this is the Select Board. Is that the way we're moving, to be the Select Board?
No, you can call it Board of Selectmen if you'd like. You know, that probably came from some other document that I lifted it off of. And again, like I said, I didn't reinvent the wheel here. I looked at several different documents. So if that's your suggestion, we'll change it to Drake Board of Selectmen.
I didn't know if that's the way we were moving. And another question I had is, it says the board and their appointees.
Yeah.
So will this be a code of conduct for all of the other committees? Because if not, it seems like our appointees are being held to a different standard.
Well, I thought about that, Jennifer, and I think, you know, I think the only people that we have control over are our own appointees. I mean, if other departments want to do this, if the town manager wants to do it, I mean, there are town employees that fall under a lot of different policies and procedures, as Ann and I discussed earlier this week. So I can only try to fix my corner of the world. So I really don't. It's only going to affect us and the people that we appoint. And I think that anybody that we appoint to a committee, we should expect that.
Mm-hmm.
Set? For now, Selectman Archinsky, I want to review it further, but I do have one question. You've been on the board for 9 years. Why now?
Well, I think that this day and age with social media and people just saying whatever they want to say and without any, any consequences or without any filters. I mean, the whole world is getting a little bit out of whack. So now I think is the time, because I think that, I think that even this board, myself included, I think we need to act a little bit more professional. And so I'm ready to sign it tonight, but I will let anybody opine on anything that they want in the thing. But, we're at the point in this world where, you've got a lot of, keyboard tough guys that say whatever they want online, but they won't say it to your face. So I just think that the whole world needs to be brought down a couple of notches, and I think as leaders of this town, we need to show the people, the public, the voters and the taxpayers that we work for, that we are a professional board and we don't operate like that.
So you mentioned social media. This speaks to folks acting in their official capacity, whether it be a member of this board or an appointee.
Right.
So you're seeing people out on social media acting as members of this board?
No, but
On social
but
media?
the town does have a social media policy, and
Yeah.
I think that, that if you're acting as an official of the town, I think the social media policy should cover, the way you act and what you say, and, well, basically. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily looking to stifle what somebody's doing on social media, but, there are things that if you represent yourself as a selectman, you could be careful about what you say on social media, because people think that you're representing the whole board.
Okay, so you want to bring this back, you say here, at a future meeting?
Sure, I'd be more than happy to talk to anybody offline, or if you want, you can, you can bring your suggestions for change or for deletion at the next meeting, and we'll hammer it out there.
Okay. All righty, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't have a question, but I have more of a comment. We had started this discussion quite some time ago. I don't know if you recall, Ann, but Allison, you and I had attended, I think you attended.
Me, yeah.
Anyway, a Mass Municipal Association seminar about code of conduct, and we had briefly talked about it. And Ann, I think you added the social media policy was being developed at this time. So I don't think this is a new or novel idea. It's been in the works. Has anything been done in administration to develop something like this?
A code of conduct or a
Yes.
social media
The
policy?
social media policy was separate, but the code of conduct piece?
No, we have a number of policies. I actually have them with me. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, almost 20. They can cover all the gamut, including family medical leave, financial policy, social media, telecommunications, so. No, I mean, if an employee signs off on this, which they have to, they are expected to act the way the policy
Sure.
requests them to. So we haven't taken any further than that.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, I was gonna wait till next meeting, but I'll make a couple of comments now. I mean, I'm hoping that because Mr. Archinsky didn't get chair, or because of my comments at the last meeting are the ones that generated this. I mean, there's a lot of things that have happened over the years while I've been here, and, everybody, I think, tries to act professional as they can. I think that's a gimme. Sometime you might go a little overboard because you heat of the moment or whatever. But I think we're governed by, I mean, we try to follow Robert's rules. We have our own handbook. There are many, there's all kinds of laws that we're governed by already. I don't know why we're adding another one. I mean, I see a thing in here about penalties. What's the penalty? We're an elected board. This board can't tell another member, you're not gonna come to the meeting, or, things like that. I question the timing of this, number one. Number two, I don't see the necessity of it myself. I probably, next week, next meeting, I probably would vote against it.
Okay. Okay, anything else before we move on?
Well, I just, in answer to Mr. Duraco's comments, I'm really only asking people to be more professional and treat people with respect. If you're gonna vote against that, then I guess we've lost you.
Mr. Archinsky, and Madam Chair, if I might, Mr. Archinsky, I've seen you do the same to a police chief, a deputy chief, probably a manager at one point, so, I mean, I don't believe you're any better than any one of us.
No, I'm not, and that's why I said even I will abide by this policy. And just to set the record straight, Mr. Duraco, I didn't mention your name in anything that I said at tonight's meeting.
I'm assuming, Mr.
Well,
Archinsky.
Okay, so to be continued to the June meeting.
yes.